Hey everyone, this is Andy from Giz China, and today we're going to take a look at the UMi Zero. This is the new UMi smartphone, which has an all-new alloy body and all-new classy design. And as you can see, that classy design has gone over into the packaging, and we can see here we've got a nice all-black box here. It's totally different from what you would expect to see a UMi product to be shipped in. The front here, we've got the Zero logo there embossed on the front. UMi around the sides, and on the rear we've got a few specifications which indicate that this is an Android 4.4.2 phone with a 5-inch Super AMOLED display, and that's a 1080 display, 2 GB of RAM, 16 GB of internal memory, and a 2 GHz octa-core MT6592 processor. That's the octa-core processor. We've also got an 8 megapixel front camera and 13 megapixel rear with a f1.8 aperture, and WCDMA and GSM support. So, all in all, looking at those specs, just look at the specs. I mean, it's a very, very promising phone. UMi have gone for high-end rather than gimmick. Let's see if they've actually delivered by opening the box and taking a look inside. Okay, let's have a look inside the box. Now, this is a really tight-fitting lid, so just bear with me a second while I squeeze it off. So once the lid is removed, we get a look inside the UMi Zero packaging for the first time, and we get to see this really distinctive looking Z panel, which is a protective panel to go on the back of the phone. Now on the photos and here on the video, it looks like it's aluminium or stainless steel, but in actual fact it's a chromed plastic, so it's quite a flexy material, so easy to pop on and pop off. But not the aluminium or steel we were expecting. But it should protect the phone if you ever drop it on its edges. On the top corners there, it does do something to protect the phone if you do drop it. And it is a little bit different from the norm. So there's the Z accessory cover, which comes with the UMi Zero. And that's in its own little packaging there. This little box here to the left of the packaging is the charger, I believe. Let me open it up. This is the EU standard charger. So yeah, this is for EU sockets with a USB there. Got the UMi logo printed on it too. Got another box here to the right. Let's see what's inside there. So all nice tight fitting packaging. This is the USB data cable which comes with the UMi Zero. It's a white plastic cable with a nice aluminium body around the plugs, as you can see there. Okay, let's pop that away. In the top here we've got a small SIM ejector tool, so we can pop that into the SIM tray and eject the SIM. In this envelope we have a small piece of cloth there, lint-free cloth, so we can give the UMi a good clean. And we also have a screen protector in here too. Alright, and underneath that, finally we have the UMi Zero phone. So there it is, the 5-inch Super AMOLED displayed UMi Zero with alloy body, octa-core processor. And when you get it in your hand, it's actually quite a weighty device. It's not heavy, it just feels solid, feels quite nice, good quality. We'll have a good look at that in a moment. Underneath the phone we've got a small envelope with a basic instruction manual which gives you a few details of the features of the UMi Zero. Alright, let's take a look at the phone itself. So with a great packaging and some really nice accessories in the box, it would be a shame to open up the Zero box and find that the phone itself was below par, but actually it feels really good in the hand. The 5-inch display means it's not so wide, it feels very comfortable in your hand. And the aluminium body, which we can just see here, feels really comfortable and very, very solid too. It's a quite surprising little device. Usually, when we're looking at MediaTek phones, and in the past when we've looked at UMi, their build quality has been a little bit off, but the Zero is in a league of its own. It is a really nice feeling phone. Before I take the covers off, let's have a look at what they're showing us. You can see that it's showing us the front camera here. Now that's the 8 megapixel front-facing camera, which we'll test in a moment. Receiver grill. We've got the icons here to show us we have a volume rocker on the left-hand side, just for our thumb there, and a power button too. If I hold that in my left, You can see it's just as easy to grab with my index finger, middle finger on the power button. So a nice, well thought out design. We've got some capacitive buttons along the bottom on the chin. We've got the back button, home and menu, which again we'll take a look at in a moment. And on the rear we've got a few more details. It shows us this 13 megapixel rear camera. That's a Sony sensor with a f1.8 aperture, dual LED flash, SIM slots. So in here there should be space for a dual SIM, or if you choose, a single SIM and a micro SD card. And we've got a speaker at the bottom. And this little icon there shows us either dual SIM support or single SIM with a micro SD. So, you know, UMi have really put this phone together very well. They've designed it well, they've given us some good accessories, and they've spec'd it out really thoughtfully. Whether that equals to a $299 phone, I can't say for sure just yet. But as a well thought out and well made MediaTek device, this is way up there. It's one of the best looking we've seen so far. Okay, let's take this protective plastic off. So we've got this nice glossy, we were told it's glass finish. I'm not sure if it is glass, it feels more like a shiny polycarbonate. We'll have to double check that with UMi. And we'll just pull the front off. And there's the front. So we've got this really nice all glass panel across the front. And you can see it sort of swoops around. It's got a really nice curves to the edges. I'll put some photos online so you can take a look at that. And it looks really, really good. The glass almost reaches to the very, very edges of the phone where it meets the aluminium on the sides. It is a really exquisite little device. It looks really, really great, and it feels great too. In the base we've got a space for a 3.5mm headphone jack, and we've got a microphone hole there. And at the top we've got the single USB data cable, which is also used for charging. And you know, which is another nice feature of this phone. It does also support fast charging. It has a Texas Instruments fast charging chip in there, so fast charging is also a nice feature. Before we turn it on, let's take a look at the phone with the Z case on. It just pops on. It snaps on really easily. I've got to say, I don't like it. It looks really tacky. Yeah, it's really nice, different design, but no, it's not for me. I'm going to take that off. It looks like junk. But anyway, the phone itself, you don't really want to hide this lovely looking device with that cover anyway. I'll just be careful with it while I'm using it. Okay, hopefully, fingers crossed, we've got some power in here. So let's hit the power button. And there we go, it's booting up. We've got this really nice Zero logo. You can see that UMi have put a lot of thought into this. It's totally different from what we've seen in the past. The UMi C1 and the UMi X3. This is really in a league of its own for UMi. So just booting up. It's the first time it's been turned on, so it may take a few moments. Just bear with me. Okay, it just shook, so I guess it's nearly ready to start. There we go. So it's booted up, and we've got our first glimpse of this Super AMOLED display, and it's a 1920 by 1080 display. Just from the lock screen, it looks really nice. This photo looks really, really clear. Let's unlock it and take a look inside. We've got a very standard looking Android operating system here. Doesn't look like UMi have played around with it too much. And as you can see, just flicking from screen to screen, it's really fast, nice and responsive. Got a regular notification area there. Got nothing along the bottom there. So this is pretty much a stock Android system. Let's take a look inside there. So we've got Android 4.4.2, UMi Zero phone. There should be the back button. Yeah, there we go. We've got backlit buttons here across the bottom. This menu button and back button do seem to be brighter than the home button. Not a huge issue, but it would have been nice to get a really nice balanced light across those, but it's not a huge problem. Okay, let's have a look in the settings. We've got a smart screen, intelligent face detection. So for example, if I'm watching a video and I look away, the video should automatically stop. We've got air gestures as well. Turn those on. So now I should be able to swipe from screen to screen. There we go. Just by using my hand. There we go, it's a little bit difficult with my hand like that, but anyway, those work. Let's take a look at some other features. In here we've got all the Google systems in here. We've got Gmail, Google settings, Google Maps are all in there. Let's take a look at this 30 megapixel rear camera. I'm actually quite excited about this camera because usually we don't see such a high quality camera on a MediaTek device, especially from a smaller brand like UMi. So for them to use a nice Sony sensor with f1.8 aperture is quite a treat. But let's bring in the Z case just by itself, not with the sticky thing. 1 second. Let's take a photo of that, see how it looks. So focusing is okay, it's not so bad. Snaps the photos quite well and saves them away quickly. Let's take a look at those photos. So there they are. They're a little bit darker than I would expect, but I assume that we can play around in the settings and filter that and sort it out how we like it. Not bad. I'll have to give this a proper test. Get some nice outdoor photos, some nice night photos. Just from these quick images here, I can see that, yeah, like I say, it's a little bit darker than usual. But not bad. It's not as great as I was hoping, but it's not bad at all. So I've also got this front-facing camera. Let's take a look at me. There I am, front-facing camera, 8 megapixel camera, and it has face tracking on there. You can see it's moving around. There we go. That's enough of me. Alright, let's take a look at the SIM tray on this. So let me get the SIM ejector tool. Pull that out of the box. So on the right hand side we've got this SIM tray. And opening that up, you can see we have space for either dual SIM cards, or we can put a single SIM in there and an SD card too. So some nice, we can decide whether we want 2 phone numbers in here, or we can decide whether an extra bit of storage is more useful. I'm going to go for the extra bit of storage because I don't think 16 gigabyte is going to cut it. Alright, let's pop that back in. It fits really nice too. Slips back in and it's really smooth. It isn't sticking up, which is nice. Alright, that's about it really for now. I mean, what I'm going to do is, as usual, I'm going to do a full hands-on review of the UMi Zero. And you can see it's actually tracking my face as I move my face around. I'm going to do a full hands-on review of this. Going to get some great photos taken with it. And we're going to do some more video reviews as well. And in the next few days, you should see the full UMi Zero review online. So there it is, the first hands-on of the UMi Zero. It's a quite impressive little phone. It's $299 and it should be on sale very soon. Okay, I'll speak to you all soon. Goodbye.